In this video guide, we're going to talk about the Bool tool in Blender. So how to create Boolean operations like union and subtraction, intersection, and slice. And so how we can merge or subtract some objects from others. You can do that with a single object or with multiple objects. So I'm going to make some examples right here. And you can use two versions here of the Bool tool or two options. One is called the auto Boolean and the other is called the brush Boolean. Now we're going to see what are the differences. Now what we want to do first is make sure that the add-on is on, it's activated. So we're going to go to Edit Preferences and then go to Add-ons section here. Look for the Bool with the search and there it is right here. So make sure this one is on. You can see there. You can turn it on and off. And it's in the sidebar in the Edit tab. So you need to look for it here on the sidebar and go for Edit. So make sure it's activated. Let's close this. And if you want to open the sidebar, you can press N of your keyboard, or you can click and drag this little arrow right here on the right and go all the way down. Now you can also move with the scroll wheel on these sidebar views or panels, and let's go to the Edit panel. And there it is, Auto Boolean, Brush Boolean. Now, another way you can use it is to use the Ctrl-Shift-B combination. So you can hold these three keys and you can access the tool also from here, which is pretty handy. Now, let's create a couple of objects that we can use to do the Boolean. I'm going to use some really simple objects. So I'm going to use, let's say, a torus right here, and let's add also a sphere. Okay, so you have a torus and a sphere. Now, I need to select both of them if I want to use Boolean. So 1 and 2. Now, the first one, you can see it has like a darker orange color highlights. And this one here instead has is highlighted with a brighter orange color. So this one is the active object, and this is the one that is gonna stay if I do a difference. So if I do difference, there you go. You can see the torus has gone, and instead I have a hole here with the shape of the torus inside the sphere. So this is the first thing you can do, which is difference. Now let's move forward and let's do Control Z. Well, actually, I took a step back and to go forward. So if we do union, now nothing seems to change here, but instead, let's see with the wireframe. So let's go back, Control Z again. Let's go back one step and let's use the wireframe shading. Now you can see that even though they look united, they still two separated objects. But when I do the union, they become one object. And you can see that it's completely merged. It looks like a cuttable weight. So you can see there inside, this is a solid composed by the two elements. Let's go back, Control Z, and let's go in the shaded mode or solid mode. And let's continue. Now let's see the intersect. Now you can see the intersect, it's the part that is common between the two. So it's the shared geometry between the two previous objects. And then you have slice. Now slice is gonna take off the sphere in this case because I selected this one as the active, but it's also keeping the one that was the intersected part. So I can move this. So I have the subtracted, the result, and then the intersected. Let me just go back and let's do the opposite. So you can see that you can switch the active object just by holding Shift and clicking on the last object. So the last object selected will be your active object. Let's do again a slice. So you can see now the torus has disappeared, and inside the sphere I have that piece of the torus that was like intersected. So you can do these experiments with all the objects that you find in Blender. Now let's go to the next one, which is going to be the brush, the tool brush. So I'm gonna go to add a new cube right here, and let's add a sphere. Now, if you want, you can create more objects. So if you want to do like a multiple Boolean operation, I can Control C, Control V, copy this sphere around like this, Control C, Control V, and then I can use all the spheres here to do a subtraction. So make sure the last one selected or the highlighted in brighter orange is the active that you want to keep. And now let's do a difference. So you can see that you can do multiple objects, subtraction, or union, or intersection, or whatever you want at the time. Now let's use the brush Boolean. So this time, when you do this, you can see that, well, it's a little bit more complex. It's creating these 4 tools or 4 brushes that can be then manipulated or transformed. So I can click this and I can move it down. Or I can move this like this. So it's kind of a real-time situation. Now, when you're ready, you can say apply all. But first, you can turn on and off these different spheres that we use to create the booleans. You can move them around, you can scale them, you can rotate them. Well, actually now I scaled the main object, but I can scale the other sphere here. I can rotate. So everything will affect the boolean, the final boolean result. And if I click on the active object, you can access, deactivate them, you can delete them, you can remove them all, and you can change for each single object, you can change the operation. So you can see this could be a union, this one a difference, this one an intersection. So depending on how you fix these, you're gonna have like a different final result. And be careful with the intersect, because if the 2 objects don't intersect, they will not be visible. So nothing will be visible actually. So make sure how you manage all these different Boolean operations together. And then you have here the possibility also to pick other objects. If you click here, you can select another object, you can delete it again. So you can work with operands many ways. Now, when you're ready, you can say apply all, and that's it. This is your final Boolean result. Now, one other thing we can do with the brush tool is to, let me just create another sphere here. So if I place it here, okay, now let's convert this into a subtractive or difference brush Boolean. So I click here. Okay, it's giving me an error because I always need to select at least 2 objects. And remember, Shift key, let's say that this is our active object, so the one that's gonna stay. Now let's do a difference. Okay, now what you can do when you use the brush Boolean is that you can move the brush like this. And let's say that this is the place that you want this to be. You can say apply brush. Now, once it's applied, you can continue in another operation. So again, you select the active object, and then let's do another difference. And then I select the brush, move the brush in another position, and you can already see that it's active. There you go. So now my object is getting more complex, stranger and stranger. And again, let's apply the brush. And then I can move it around for the next operation. Let's say that I want to do it right here. Again, I select that, difference, and then adjust it. There you go. And then let's apply the brush. And then we can just remove everything, or just, well, in this case, you can just, after you apply, you can do it from here. You can remove all, apply all, or remove all. And this is staying there, so let's remove it. Okay, yeah, it's still in there. So this will be all for this video guide. I hope you enjoy it, and if you did, please subscribe to the channel. If you want to give us a little thank you, you can join the channel as a supporter. Thanks, and see you in the next video.